Okay, hi everybody. I am just triple checking that I'm live because you know the way it goes. Let's see. Okay, that's right. I can't do this on my phone. I have to do it on my laptop real quick. My apologies, folks, but it would drive me bananas if I went live and did all this talking and I wasn't even live. So we're just gonna check real quick to make sure that I am live. Go to your channel. Live. Awesome. Okay, we are good to go. We are good to go. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan. I am the Chaotic Entrepreneur, and today we're going to talk about capitalism and business because this was the biggest mindset block that I had. One of the biggest mindset blocks I had when I started my business. One of them was just my rejection sensitivity, right? Because I have ADHD and I'm very, very sensitive to rejection. So that was a big block. But the next biggest block, I think, was money mindset. And this is because I would consider myself pretty left-leaning. In fact, I would probably not call myself a liberal. I would call myself a leftist. And because of that, I really had a lot of concerns about making money and about being rich. Like that word, especially rich, felt really bad. It felt like a sin, right? I bring some Catholic trauma to the table as well. So that's where some of this language is headed and coming from. But anyway, being rich felt like a really bad thing. It felt like it was an affront to people who weren't rich, basically. And I just dealt with a lot of money mindset around like, is it ethical to make money? Is it how much ethical or how much money is it ethical to make? And how do I like find that sweet spot? And like, if I can pay my bills, isn't that like, that's as much as I'm supposed to make? Is it bad to make more than that? Is it bad to be comfortable when so many people aren't comfortable? And so I really want to talk about this because I didn't have a coach who could help me with this. And I love my coaches, by the way. I've had several different business coaches over the years, and they've all helped me tremendously in different ways. But I have never had a business coach who talked about capitalism and making money and how to uphold my leftist values while still running a business. I never had a coach who could do that for me. And so it is my sincerest hope that I can be that coach for you. So where do we even start? Okay, let's start with the fact that capitalism and business are not the same thing. A lot of people equate the two, and I understand why, because business is kind of what makes capitalism run, but not really. We're going to dig into that in just a minute. But that's a common misconception, is that business is like the cells that make up the animal of capitalism, right? And that's not really true. What really makes up capitalism is exploitation, okay? Something, if you guys are D&D nerds, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, you almost definitely know about Brennan Lee Mulligan. He is a DM, a comedian, all this stuff. He works with Dropout, which used to be College Humor and all of that. So anyway, we love Brennan Lee Mulligan in this household. He is a fellow, I would consider probably a leftist based on some stuff he has said over the years. I actually have a sticker from one of his D&D campaigns where he said, laws are threats made by the dominant socioeconomic ethnic group in a given nation. It's just a promise of violence that's enacted, and police are basically an occupying army. You know what I mean? You guys want to make some bacon? And so I freaking love it. So we love Brennan Lee Mulligan. And at one point he was doing an interview with Sam Reich, and who runs Dropout and stuff. And he was talking about how work is not bad. Work is good. We need food. We need entertainment. We need all kinds of things. Work is good. It's the exploitation of that work that is bad, right? And I think sometimes in leftist circles, things get a little confused, a little mixed up, especially when you start looking at intersecting identities, where we talk about like, okay, there's somebody I follow who I love, Trisha Hersey, who is at the Nap Ministry over on Instagram. Love her. She's amazing. But she talks about how rest is, what does she say? Revolution, rebellion, resistance. something like that. Rest, but basically rest is your birthright. That's a big thing she talks about. And I think when you're living in a Black body, that makes so much sense because Black bodies have been exploited over and over and over for years, and centuries have been exploited for their labor. And so I think that makes a lot of sense, whereas I'm living in a white body where my body hasn't been exploited for labor, like generationally or in this lifetime. And so to me, labor is very precious to me. And especially as an ADHDer, it brings me so much joy. And I guess as an autistic person, it brings me so much joy. My work is my special interest. And so to me, yes, rest is my birthright. And I know I should rest more. And it's something I'm working on. So please bear in mind that all of this is a work in progress in my mind still. But I do think when we get into intersecting identities, what rest and labor mean to us are going to be really different, right? Like what rest and labor look like for a child of immigrants is going to look completely different than for a child of farmers, than what it's going to look like for a child of investors. Like, all of us come from very different backgrounds, and not just personal backgrounds, but generational backgrounds and identities. And so rest and labor are very closely tied to our identities, and to pretend that they're not is disingenuous, I think. So something that I really like, though, that Brennan said is that work is good. And I do believe that. I think rest is our birthright and work is good. I think both. We need balance. And that's what capitalism doesn't do. Capitalism exploits labor, forces us to work and work and work and work, not because that actually produces more goods. It doesn't. Studies have shown over and over and over that once humans work for about 4 hours, we're usually tapped and we're far less productive for the next 4. But they keep us working in order to keep exploiting us so that when we do finally get to go home, we don't have the energy to do active rest, right? Like reading tarot cards or painting or singing or anything like that. I'm a very artistic person, but you might have non-artistic hobbies. That's fine. We don't have time or energy for that. And so instead we rely on fast, cheap, easy stuff like DoorDash or Shein or whatever that further exploit people. It's this horrible, horrible system. It's not that making clothes is bad. It's that having children make clothes is bad. It's not that having delivery is bad. It's that not paying your delivery drivers a fair wage is bad, right? So the work itself isn't bad. I see this a lot in leftist spaces, is like people feel so guilty for wanting like delivery service. They're like, I shouldn't want that. It's so like stupid and selfish. And granted, under our current system, yeah, it does hurt people to use those like DoorDash apps and stuff like that. But also, we live in a really broken, fucked up society in which it's really difficult to consume anything ethically, right? What's that saying? There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. It's really difficult to buy clothes that don't involve child labor. It's really difficult to order food that doesn't involve like cruelty to animals and all this stuff, which I know it's weird for me to talk about like eating meat and also worry about cruelty to animals, but like some cognitive dissonance there. I'm working on it. Anyway, so business and capitalism are not the same. Here's how I like to define business. Business is just an exchange of value, right? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. My nose just got really itchy. Okay. Business is an exchange of value, right? So the way people often talk about money, like money is this horrible, evil thing. I don't think so. Personally, I think money is just a convenience factor for bartering. That's all it is. It's just a universal tool to use to barter, basically. So like, especially because we live in a global economy now, you can't live in Peru and run an alpaca farm. And then you want to pay somebody who lives in Alaska to design your website for your alpaca farm. You can't bring your alpacas all the way up to Alaska. First of all, that would cost a ton of money. It would, you'd have to get on a plane and all this stuff. And Can you even bring alpacas on planes? I don't know. And then what is someone in Alaska going to do with alpacas? Can alpacas even survive in Alaska? I don't really think so. But you really like this person's website design skills and you want to hire them. Money makes that possible. You can just send them money through the internet. And like money is a convenience factor, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's just how we have to do business in a global economy and stuff like that. And it's like a way, especially because even if you wanted someone in Peru who lives close to you to design your website, what if they don't want alpacas? But like that's what you have to offer, right? Like that's all you own. That's your value, is that you have an alpaca farm. Money allows you to turn that value into something you can barter with, right? So I think money is a very good thing. I love money. I love having money. I love giving money away. And I think money is really good. So business is just an exchange of value. It's saying, I value your alpacas, right? And I would like some. I'm willing to give you money, which I earned from my clothing design business, whatever. I'm willing to give you money in exchange for those alpacas because I would like them. You know, it's basically saying, I value your time, I value your effort, I value your expertise, and I'm willing to pay you for those things. And I think so often we pretend that, I don't know, our stuff isn't actually valuable, our labor isn't valuable, which is so antithetical to leftist movements. Labor has value. Capitalism says that labor doesn't have value, and that's why they pay us shit. That's why they exploit the crap out of us. Leftists, I would think, would love business, because business says what you do matters, and you deserve to be compensated for it. And I'm not saying that that's the only way people should be able to make money. I fully believe in universal basic income. I fully believe in to each according to his needs and from each according to their ability. I fully believe in all of that. And I think business can be part of that future. Like wholeheartedly, I believe that. So anyway, that is a little bit about business and capitalism. I really think business is a really beautiful thing, and I love running my business. I also want to point out that running a business is sometimes the only accessible option, like job option, especially under capitalism, for a lot of disabled folks. Like, I am autistic and ADHD. I tried to get a 9-to-5 job for like a year. And granted, that's, you know, some people would say that's not that long, and some people would say you could have done more and all this stuff. But by the time I actually got a job, which took almost a year, or got a job offer, I was already making that much money in freelancing. And I was like, why would I go sacrifice like my autonomy to take a job when I can make that much freelancing? And so I kept the freelancing job. And then from freelancing, I started designing my own business and doing my own offers and stuff like that. And so I think sometimes folks in the left, nobody hates the left like the left, right? We bicker amongst ourselves pretty violently, and I think that is one of the reasons that fascism is rising right now, is because the right doesn't squabble as much as we do. And granted, I think that's part of why the far right is so inherently evil, is because they don't fight for, hey, this is wrong and this isn't what we stand for. Instead, they're like, well, we want to get our aims accomplished. I guess we're willing to partner with evil to make it happen. So there's some good reasons to squabble amongst ourselves, for sure. But I also think we do have to come together and make a stand, and like really, we have to support each other. And even though there are some leftists who are going to disagree with me and who are going to say that business is capitalism and that business is inherently bad and inherently exploitative and there's no way to run a business without exploiting people, I disagree personally. But I respect that opinion, and I wonder if you're right. I often think about that, but I think it's possible to disagree and still come together and agree on other things and to still support each other. So that's something I'm really hoping to do. So if you're watching this and you would consider yourself maybe a leftist, maybe a baby leftist, that's okay. I think I'm finally upgrading to like toddler leftist. I think I've been a baby leftist for a long time, pretty much since 2020. Everything with 2020 really radicalized me with the pandemic and with the murder of George Floyd and everything like that. It just really radicalized me. And yeah. So I think I've been a baby leftist for a long time. I think I'm upgrading to toddler leftist. I'm starting to get a little more in depth on some of this stuff. So I am deciding as a business coach, because like I said, I never had a business coach who could talk to me about these things. I want you to have someone like that. I want you to have me to talk you through some of this stuff and we can learn together. And so I'm offering a program called Making Money as a Leftist, and I love it so much. I'm so proud of it. I've already started creating a lot of the content, and it's going to be a group program. There's going to be 10 people total. One spot is already gone, so there are 9 spots left. We're going to start the week of October 14th, and you have to be signed up before October 10th in order to participate. And it's going to be really good. So let me go over what are some of the modules. Hold on. They make me very happy. Let's see, more, scroll. Okay, so module 1 is capitalism sucks, business doesn't. Module 2 is coping with guilt. You being poorer doesn't make anyone else richer. Module 3 is how to sell with your whole chest. Module 4 is practical sales tips that align with leftist values. Module 5 is designing a financially equitable product ladder. Module 6 is how much money is enough and how much is too much, how to price your stuff. And then module 7, the last one, is maintaining your self-worth and integrity when other leftists disagree with you. So I think I'm just really excited for this. It's going to have really practical tips for making sales, but it'll also have a lot of mindset stuff around like how to make, because here's the thing. So many people focus on the practical stuff, and I'm all about that practical content, especially if you've never run a business before. You need the practical information, right, on how to fucking do this. But at the same time, I know all the practical stuff, and I knew it, like I learned it all pretty quickly, and it still took me a while to make sales because I was so afraid of making money and so afraid that making money made me a bad person. And that mindset held me back. And so I don't want that to happen to you. And I would love to teach you some of the mindset stuff as well. So we're going to go over practical mindset, all of it together. So this is the first time I'm running this program, which means I'm offering a really, really cool discount, basically because I know you're going to be so instrumental and so important when it comes to shaping the future of this program. Your feedback is going to be so valuable to me. So usually this program is going to cost $1,111. But for the first time I'm running it, it's going to be $555, which is like right around half price. So I'm very excited. It comes with Zoom meetings every single week, plus modules that you get to explore on your own time. Plus there will be a Voxer chat where everybody in the group can chat with each other and ask questions. Plus I do office hours in the Voxer once a week. And then you also get like a one-on-one call before the program starts and after it ends. Again, that's to help me better the program. That probably won't be offered in future iterations of the program. That's like a beta bonus, I guess. And then if you want one-on-one additional support while you're going through the program, you can purchase, usually you would have to purchase one-on-one Voxer support, but if you sign up before the month of October, then you can get that Voxer support completely for free as like a bonus, as a thank you for trusting me and investing in me. So yeah, I feel like this is a really fair exchange, right? Again, non-exploitative, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I think this is something we need to talk about more. There is one more thing I wanted to leave you with, and that is a book recommendation. It's called It's Not You, It's Capitalism: Why It's Time to Break Up and How to Move On by Malika Jabali. Freaking love this book. Okay? This book is so good. I'm literally only on I just finished chapter 2. I'm on page 42. Look at this book. So let me find, there are pre-highlighted sections. So the important stuff is highlighted. There are graphics with what she calls class warriors, right? And W.E.B. Du Bois is obviously one of them. There's like cool drawings. It's just, this was made for ADHDers, okay? I think. This is such an ADHD friendly book. It actually is giving me really good ideas for my book. If you didn't know, I have a book deal and I'm working on it and everything, but it's giving me some good ideas. I may need to partner with an illustrator because this is really brilliant. So that is what I'm going to leave you with. The book recommendation for this week is going to be It's Not You, It's Capitalism. So, all right, everybody, this was a really lovely live. It was wonderful to chat with you all, and I hope that you go forth and start your business and get out there and start making money because it doesn't make you a bad person. Okay.